to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. My name is Trich Gray, and I'll be your host for this edition of Toastmaster Time. Today, we're in for a special treat because we're going to meet the district leadership team. Now, we think of Toastmasters, they meet in their clubs. There's about 4 to 6 clubs together organized as an area. Maybe 4 to 8 areas are gathered together as a division. They report up to the district level, and then from the district we go on to worldwide international Toastmasters. But for the local members, we're really concerned about what happens at the district level. So let's start by meeting our district director, Teri McDonald. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you for having us, Trish.
Well, I noticed you brought a group of people with you. Would you care to introduce your team?
Sure. This is some of my leadership team. Right next to me is Steve Taddei. He's the program quality director. And next to him is Ed Cullen, our public relations manager. I also have Kimberly Whitaker, our finance manager. And finally, at the end, Dennis Neary, our administration manager.
Great. Well, we're going to hear from Ed, Kimberly, and Dennis later on in the show. But let's start by talking with you and Steve what your positions are. So tell us, what does a district director do?
The district director of District 57 is responsible for the decision making of what the district's going to do. Together with Steve and Sue Han, who is our club growth director, who couldn't be here tonight, we make the decision, we set the direction of the district, we plan the budget, and then I personally have oversight of the budget to make sure that we stay within the guidelines that Toastmasters International gives us.
Oh, okay. Now, how about you, Steve? What do you do as the program quality director?
As program quality director, my job is to make sure that we have good club officer training. When a new member becomes a club officer, when a veteran member becomes a club officer, we want to make sure they're comfortable in the role. So we have training twice a year, and then we want to keep the membership informed, so we have 2 conferences a year.
Okay. Now, as you said, Sue Han was not able to be here tonight, but would you mind describing in brief terms what her job function is and how she is a part of the trio with the 2 of you?
Absolutely. Sue is responsible for starting new clubs and for membership. So as far as our 3 roles, her focus is reaching out to the community and looking for locations where there might be a possibility for a new club, putting the demo team or the kickoff team together, and helping us with that part of it. She also has responsibility for the membership in respect to making sure that the members pay their dues.
Oh, okay. Yeah, as a matter of fact, dues are due.
Yes, they are.
Dues are coming up soon here, here soon. You know, just as a thought, you know, the district trio, that's great, but you know, I'm just a plain old Toastmaster. How do your jobs affect me?
Well, what we do is we set the vision for the membership. And you're going to hear some of that in my speech coming up in a few minutes.
Okay.
And we have the direction. You know, I'm really the cheerleader of the group. It's my job to cheer all the almost 50 members of the leadership team.
Wow.
To do their jobs, to get out and to reach into the clubs and to talk to the members and find out what they need. And I'm the cheerleader that keeps them going at our monthly meetings.
50 people. I mean, this is just a small segment of, wow, I didn't realize there were that many people involved in organizing the district and helping out the individual members. I'm very impressed that you guys can keep this all straight. Wonderful. Okay. Now, I know that both you and Steve have had leadership positions in the district. What position did you hold last year?
I was the Lieutenant Governor of Education and Training, which they changed the names this last year, and essentially I had the responsibility that Steve is doing this year.
Okay. And Steve, what did you do for the district last year?
I was what they call the Lieutenant Governor of Marketing, which is now the club growth director. So my job last year was to build new clubs.
Okay, so you're very experienced in the leadership role of the district. You've really just been moving up through the different levels. So when you say this is your vision, I think we could all pretty much feel that you know what you're talking about because you've been involved with the leadership of the district for quite a while. Great.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I can't wait to hear what your vision is for the district this year. So are you ready to give your speech?
I am.
Wonderful. Well, I'll give you just a moment to get set up. But in the meantime, let me just mention to our membership out there that what Teri was saying is she's the cheerleader. She's the one who's going to set the vision, set the tone. So we all have some goals that we can strive for this year. So let's go ahead and listen to Teri McDonald, our district director. Teri McDonald.
Do you remember the first day that you joined Toastmasters? You joined your club because you believed that you had the ability to become a better speaker. You found an environment that believed in you, and you also realized that this group, Toastmasters, is able to support you in your goals. Then a few months later, you might have been asked by somebody in your club to become an officer or to compete in a speech contest. That role of that member was to cheer you on. That person became your cheerleader. That person encouraged you, mentored you. They believed in you. Take Daniel Cummings, for example. At 19, he broke his neck in an accident that left him quadriplegic. The doctors told him that he'd never walk again. Now, an injury such as this really takes your independence away from you. Even the simplest activities, such as feeding yourself and dressing yourself, he wasn't able to do. Daniel didn't take his doctor's diagnosis and say, okay. Instead, he turned into his own beliefs, and he decided that he would focus on exercise and physical therapy. 10 years later, Daniel did walk again. He walked a mile with the help of a walker. And for someone who hadn't been walking for 10 years, this was a feat. He did this because he believed in himself. Belief is a very important thing. He used his belief to fundraise and start an organization to help other people with spinal cord injuries. Now, closer to home, you may have had an experience or family member who was diagnosed with a disease, and they were told by the doctors, go home, get your things in order. It could be a family member, it could be friends, and I actually know that some of our fellow Toastmasters have been affected. And I wonder, why are they still here? Could it be that they believe that they have the power to overcome what health issues that they're facing with? A few years ago, in the district, we had members that didn't believe that we could be a distinguished district. They thought it was too hard. Matter of fact, there were also members that thought that it was too hard to become a distinguished club. In 2013-14, we changed all that. The trio then shared our beliefs that we could accomplish those goals. We did it again in 2014 and 2015. We proved that the track that we were on was repeatable. we believe in the district. I believe in you, the member. I believe that we're ready to do 3 years as a distinguished district. I can tell you my beliefs are that the distinguished club program is easy when the members work together. The distinguished district program is easy when the clubs work together. I believe that we have the momentum to do this one more time. And I know that when you team up, we can move up and become a president's distinguished district. That's what I see as my vision for this year. I believe in you, and I'm asking you to believe in our direction. And when you go back to your club, believe in your new member and believe that your club is capable of achieving all 10 goals. Believe.
Well, thank you for sharing your vision, Teri. Now just stay in the speaking area for a little bit. Some of our members have some questions for you that I'm going to ask you. For example, the first question is, how does your theme relate to the Distinguished Club program?
Our theme is Team Up, Move Up. And that really ties in solidly with the Distinguished Club program. When members work together and team up to work on goals, they build a stronger club and they build a better club, actually. And it helps them become distinguished or president's distinguished.
All right, that's a fair answer. Let's go into the second question. What is being done differently this year?
We have over 22 incentives that we are providing from a district level to the members and the clubs. We feel that by providing these incentives to help the clubs reach their goals, it will benefit each and every one of the members in our district.
All right. Well, you know, you've shared your vision, but it takes people to implement that vision. And that sounds like something that our program quality director is going to be responsible for implementing. So why don't we have Steve tell us a little bit about what his goals are for this year. So let's talk with Steve Taddei, our program quality director. Steve Taddei.
Greetings, Toastmasters and all of you who are interested in Toastmasters. Tonight I'm going to talk about our goals for this year, and each and every goal we have revolves around enhancing the members' experience. How are we going to enhance the members' experience? The first thing we're going to do is bring the most passionate and effective speakers into our district to give their message. The first person we're going to bring in is our International Director, Gloria Shishido. On November 14th at our Fall District Conference, Gloria will be delivering the keynote address. In addition to Gloria, as the year goes on, we're going to bring in 3 world champions of public speaking. The first one is going to come in December when we host Ed Tate, the 2000 World Champion of Public Speaker, at a District 57 event. On January 9th, we're bringing in Lance Miller, who won the 2005 International Speech Contest. He will be presenting at our Toastmasters Leadership Institute. We're going to cap the year off on May 14th with Darren LaCroix, who won the International Speech Contest in 2001. He was one of the main speakers last month in Las Vegas, and he gave some great advice on how to reach goals as individuals. Those are going to be 4 great events that we have, but what are we going to do the rest of the year? What are we going to do day to day to make this year successful? I believe we're going to do the same things we did last year and the year before when we were a distinguished district. We're going to do those activities so our members have the best experience they can. I'm partial to a successful club series program called Moments of Truth. That allows the clubs and the members to self-evaluate their club and what they're doing in Toastmasters. Moments of Truth allows struggling clubs to be strong clubs. It allows strong clubs to be great clubs, and it allows great clubs to do even better than they're doing already. As you see me in district activities, I will be carrying around the Moments of Truth chart everywhere I go. And I can talk with all of you about it, and I could encourage you to bring it to your clubs. The third thing we're going to do, as Teri talked about earlier, is provide a lot of incentives. We all know that Toastmasters improves our speaking and our leadership skills, but every once in a while, you need a little bit of a nudge. And in a positive way, with our incentives, we're going to let you know that we know what you're doing out there. We know you're doing great things, and we want to acknowledge it. So join us, participate in our events, come to our conferences, come to our Toastmasters Leadership Institute, come to our special events like the one we're having with Ed Tate. Support your clubs, make your clubs as strong as they can be, and come up on the stage with us when we acknowledge you, because we want to pat you on the back and we want to encourage you to take the next step. Trish.
All right, well, I got you here. You know I got to ask you a couple questions, Steve.
Terrific.
Why should a member attend a district conference?
District conferences are some of the most exciting things Toastmasters has to offer. We have 2 each year. The one coming up is going to feature the humorous speech contest. 8 people are going to stand in front of the audience and tell stories that are absolutely hilarious. They all started at their club contest in August, one contest, one after another, to get to the point to where they compete at the district level. In addition to the humorous speech contest, there's going to be an evaluation contest. We go to meetings every week. We give evaluations, we receive evaluations. At the district conference, you're going to hear the 8 best. There'll be a keynote speaker, Gloria Shishido, who has had all the roles in Toastmasters and now an international director. We'll take care of some district business. We'll have some educational sessions. A lot of great things happening at our conference.
Oh, that sounds very interesting. Here's the last question for you, Steve. Why should an officer attend training?
Well, there's 2 types of training. The main one is the Toastmasters Leadership Institute. We have 2 a year. On January 9th, we'll be having our mid-year training. That will feature Lance Miller, who's the international world champion of public speaking. Lance is going to talk about quality clubs, and he's got some great ideas. Anybody who attends his session is going to have ideas to bring back to their club and make their club great. In addition to that, you'll meet other club officers. The newbies, the people that have just joined Toastmasters, they're holding their first office, they'll be rubbing shoulders with people that have been at Toastmasters for years, exchanging ideas, exchanging email addresses, finding mentors. It's great for the new members, it's great for the veteran members to get charged up and to finish a year strong.
Oh, thank you very much, Steve. I really appreciate you sharing your vision along with Teri, giving us an idea of what her goals are for this year. But for now, we have to take a short break. You're watching Toastmaster Time TV, and we'll be right back.
Name an effective political leader in history who couldn't speak well.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
There aren't any.
Because when it comes to a disease,
Freedom requires leadership, and leadership requires oratory. You have to speak to be heard.
I have a dream.
It's all about personal growth and guts.
Never give in. Never, never, never.
Welcome back to Toastmaster Time, the show that has everybody talking. Since Teri and Steve brought along some of their district leaders, we thought we'd ask them a few questions. So we're going to start with Ed Cullen, who's the Public Relations Manager. Ed, here's my first question for you. What does a public relations team look like?
Our public relations team is diverse, they're talented, and they're ready to get the Toastmasters message out.
All right. And how about your second question? What is the focus for your public relations team this year?
The focus for our public relations team this year is to create a legacy of excellence, to stand on the stage, as Teri said, in Washington, D.C. and in Vancouver after we've completed our term, but built a foundation of excellence.
And your last question, what does Team Up, Move Up mean to you as a public relations manager?
Well, Trich, when you're in Toastmasters, you often do something and then you get comfortable. And then you do something else and you get comfortable with that. You're doing something that's nervous-making, but you are never alone in Toastmasters. There is always someone there to help you. That's what Team Up, Move Up means to us. We're getting the message of how wonderful Toastmasters is, out. And we're doing it in ways that may make us nervous, but there's someone else there to help us out. We're teaming up, we're moving up.
Oh, wow, that sounds pretty exciting. All right, now it's time to move on to Kimberly, and she's going to talk about what is the role of the finance minister in the district leadership team?
That's the finance manager. As finance manager, I pay the bills, district's monthly bills, the incentives that the district has put out there for the clubs, the areas, the divisions. And once all of those bills are paid, I also enter that information into the Toastmasters International's accounting system so that we can maintain our nonprofit status.
All right, and what is new this year regarding reimbursement?
This year I have created a standard operating procedures document which will tell everybody how to submit their vouchers and receipts and the amount of time that's required.
All right, that sounds interesting. We're going to have to get to know you very well since you pay the bills for Toastmaster Time TV. Let's move on to Dennis Neary, who's our administration manager. As the administration manager, what do you do for the district, Dennis?
Well, Trish, last year administration manager was called the district secretary. So that should give you an idea. I do the record keeping for the district, any correspondence that's needed, take minutes of the meetings. I also track the action items that come out of the minutes and make sure that the people who add action items realize they've got the items, realize when they're due, and make sure they get the items done on time.
All right, okay. I have a second question for you. What are the benefits of being a district officer? So perhaps you're looking for replacements for next year?
Always looking for replacements for next year so that I can move up to the next office. The benefits are too many to mention, really. For a couple of years, I was not a district officer after I'd been a division governor, and I just kind of felt like I was out of the loop. You get to be with people that are doing exciting things for the district, get to be right on the front lines, working with them, helping them to achieve their goals. And it's a way of giving back to Toastmasters who, when I first joined Toastmasters, if you'd asked me to come onto a TV show, I'd still be running in the other direction. So I think now it's time to give back.
Well, you know, I really appreciate having all of you on the show with us today because hopefully it's given our audience and the members of District 57 a little bit better idea of what it takes to run a district and what some of the positions are, because as you said, we are always looking to replace ourselves so that you can move up to the next position next year. We've got a very short amount of time left. Is there maybe one parting thought you, Teri, as our district director, that you would like to leave with everybody?
I want the district members to know that the leadership team is here to serve you. And if you need something, we have some great ideas, we want to hear from you.
Great. Okay. Steve, is there anything you'd like to leave as a parting shot?
I'm just really excited. Ed and I are working on the website and on the public relations for the November conference. That's going to be the next big event we have. And Gloria Shishido is a wonderful leader, and if you go, you'll have a really good time.
Great. Okay. Well, you've got a minute here to any parting words from Ed or Dennis or Kimberly?
Well, I'd have to agree with Steve about going to the district conference. For years, I didn't want to go to a district conference. I finally went to my first one in 2009. I've been to every one since then. And every time there's something I take out of it, there's something I learn at the conference that really makes it worthwhile.
Wow. Well, I really appreciate having all of you here and sharing your words of wisdom and your vision for the future, but that's our show for this evening, so we're going to wrap it up. I'd just like to let our audience know that we tape our show in the San Francisco Bay Area. If you'd like more information about our show, you can go to our website, and that's toastmastertime.com. We're sponsored by District 57 of Toastmasters. You can find out about local events happening in this area. Their website is d57tm.org. And if you'd like to know more information about Toastmasters International or where to find a club near you, you can go to Toastmasters International website, and that's toastmasters.org. I'd like to thank all of our volunteers who've been very patient with us today to get this show completed, because without them, we don't have a show. We really appreciate our volunteers at the Palo Alto Media Center. With that, I would encourage you to join Toastmasters. I've been your host, Trish Gray, and speak up.